boys and girls, yes, I know we're all still drooling from the result yesterday, which was absolutely awful. I said it wasn't as bad as the Everton loss because the Everton loss, we were at full strength. What's happening now is a depleted midfield is just really added to the problems. Why you would let a guy like Maitland-Niles go? Why wouldn't you do that at the end of the month? Regardless what Roma was forcing you into, if they wanted to pull out of the deal, let them pull out of the deal. The fact is, Maitland-Niles is only complaining because we're not playing him. And that was a game that he needed to play in. So both parties would have been happy. The player would have been happy because he's playing. And not just is he playing, but the African Nation Cup is going all the way through to next month. So that means that Maitland-Niles would have been a commodity within that time. The problem with the midfield yesterday was tenfold. First of all, Patino, his young shoulders. As I said on the stream yesterday, before that game, he'd only played 10 minutes of professional football. Now, if you take the fact that you're going away from home, so this is a difference, guys. When you're playing at home and you're 3 or 4-0 up, it's different. It's a completely different, there's no pressure, young shoulders, come on in front of your home fans and do your thing. In the FA Cup, a prestige cup, you're going away from home into the Lions' Den against a team that is just going to run at you. Because remember, the only experience Charlie Patino has is playing with youth players under 21s. So he's come into the Lions' Den away from home. There's no advantage on the scoreboard. There's no home fans. And it was just too big for him. The occasion was just too big for him. And nothing to do with him at all. This is all on the fact that Edu, them guys have got rid of Maitland-Niles. Xhaka had COVID. It's actually going to get worse now because we're going into our most important part of the season. We've got 2 games against Liverpool. We've got an away game against Spurs. Both of these games, all 3 of those games really, we have to win. They will define our season. And the COVID has just ripped us apart. Africa's nations ripped us apart. The news is now, guys, you're probably aware that Arsenal are looking to make emergency loan signings because they've been hit with more COVID cases ahead of the Carabao Cup semi-final against Liverpool. Emil Smith-Rowe and Tomiyasu now has come out with COVID as it is. And it means, like, you know, as I said, Sambi and Patino were the only fit midfielders in the club right now. Now, okay, so we have to draw a line somewhere. You can mix players in different positions. There's no 2 ways about it. And I think for me, one of the things that frustrated me yesterday is you could add a Lacazette into Odegaard's position, which is where actually he was playing before Odegaard came back into the team, and just put Odegaard in a holding midfielder where he actually plays sometimes for his national team, Norway. So I don't understand why some of these things are not happening. They should be happening because players can interchange, and that's probably what I would do against Liverpool if the situation is where it is. Yeah, so that's just a man management thing. That's just, from a tactical standpoint, a single pivot isn't going to get you out of that situation. And if you're thinking about doing that against Spurs and Liverpool, then only misery will follow. Speaking of misery, some more bad news. I have a lot of respect for Nottingham Forest fans. I know quite a few of them back in the day. But isn't it funny that what happened with England in the Euros, we would even go in front of Spurs fans and Spurs fans would applaud Saka and give him the support that he needed as an England player. And that was really nice to see from Spurs fans. But then the situation reared its ugly head last night, which was embarrassing really. Nottingham Forest fans shamefully singing "You Let Your Country Down" to Bukayo Saka was just absolutely awful. In that ground, in regards to the fans, it was just appalling. Not to mention with the fact that African Guna has brought this up a few times now, that VAR is only implemented in grounds that actually can facilitate it. Nottingham Forest's ground is one that can't. What led to Nottingham Forest's goal was a clear handball in the midfield which the referee didn't see. Now, upon review of that, if the game was at the Emirates or if it was being showed on VAR, the game would have been sort of a tie at full time because the goal wouldn't have been allowed. So it's just one of those things that everybody could say, look, it just went against us. And at the end of the day, nothing like that can replace the lack of performance that we saw from the players of the field. It was from the ground up, no intensity, no desire, no heart. The passes They were really bad, misplaced passes, the weight on the passes were poor. There was no service for the forward line at all from the midfield. And it was just a free-for-all. And the defence, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good display. But I'm not going to palm on about it. I'm just really personally just moving on to the fact that we're going to have to deal with this depleted squad in the Liverpool game and at the Tottenham game. And this is less than a week now. And we've got to find something. Yeah, Edu has to be working his socks off right now to try and get in a loan in to try and facilitate. And it's silly. We need a guy like Maitland-Niles, and we've just let him go. Now we're looking for a loan to replace a player we've just loaned out. It doesn't make any sense. So, look, man, yes, this is very important for our season. Will it define our season? I'm not sure. It's too early to tell. But then being knocked out of the semi-final of a cup and then getting beaten by Spurs. Spurs again, if Spurs win this weekend, it's advantage Spurs because it'll still be a game in hand. And the fact that they're closing in on us, it just speaks volumes that the fourth place is probably theirs. But look, guys, still 18 games left to play. A long way to go. And as I said, they're missing Song now for a month. So only time will tell, but please, Edu, Arteta, get some bodies in the midfield right now because this thing is hurting the team badly, man. And you guys, Thursday, we're going to have a stream for the game against Liverpool, so I hope you guys join me then. Up till then, peace, right back at you guys.